was only 32. The normal high is in the upper 40s this time of year, and we're getting there. We'll be in the upper 30s. I mean, it's better than yesterday. Yesterday's high temperature well below average. Today, a little bit better, as I mentioned. Tonight, we'll settle back to the mid-teens. Tomorrow, sun mid-30s. Kicking off the weekend with sunshine Saturday, mid-40s. Sunday, partly sunny, upper 40s. From the Weather Channel, I'm Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by First Restoration Services.
Disasters at home from floods, fires, or storm is a homeowner's worst nightmare. It pays to have a professional on your side, and that's exactly what you get with First Restoration Services. They've built their business off trust, integrity, speed, and quality. Learn more online at FRS247.com.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, bank. That's bank. Enter it now.
You got to get in to win. Go to ESPNAVL.com, and good luck.
The Sportsocracy.
That fires me up, man. I love it. Say it one more time.
The Sportsocracy.
Shake it back!
Beer City's best sports talk.
It is gross.
Just earlier.
They are mature, actually. You just have to get to know them better.
Your lunchtime dose of dumbassery. Live from the Ingalls studio.
And welcome into the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Sportsocracy heard everywhere you go on the iHeart Radio app, and we are seen everywhere on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click that live video link, subscribe to the channel, and join us in the chat. We apologize for the technical difficulties in the first hour, but hope you enjoyed the silence that we had there. We had some major technical issues here.
Demonic possession.
Radio Ranch. Yeah, it's sometimes that happens. Sometimes you work without a net in live radio. Actually, you always work without a net in live radio, and here we go. So anyhow, welcome into the program. It is a Threadbare Thursday. If you are not familiar with a Threadbare Thursday, how this works is you join us in the YouTube chat, throw out a topic for the day, and we will get to it throughout the program here, keeping an eye on the coaching carousel. Yesterday, GM's counting the coaching carousel as well, and yesterday, right after we got off the radio program, it was announced that the Jacksonville Jaguars, Jeremy, finally made a solid decision.
And that leads into our first Super Chat of the day, which is about that very thing.
All right. I don't have the button in front of me, but who's going to, we're doing stuff. Yeah, here comes the money. Go.
The Jacksonville Jaguars are the poverty franchise of the NFL.
No doubt.
If they don't come away from this with Joe Brady, this is worse than the Mike McCarthy circus in Dallas. Glad you said it that way, Soaring Eagle. Here's why I say that. Okay, so I don't know why this is hard for certain teams to understand. It's actually worse to take a long time to fire your GM than it is to take a long time to fire your head coach. Because, hey, Tank, where am I headed on Monday?
The Senior Bowl.
The Senior Bowl. Hey, what else starts on Monday?
What?
The Shrine Bowl. Hey, what already happened? The Hula Bowl. These are all very big tools for GMs to get to meet players, because basically what's going to happen with the Jacksonville Jaguars, the only opportunity that they're really going to have to get acclimated to these prospects is the combine. That makes the combine incredibly important, especially for a team that's picking at 5.
Yes, it does.
I can't figure out exactly what happened with Jacksonville. I know what I think happened, and I know what I've been told happened. Jacksonville figured out pretty quick, no good candidate is going to roll with Trent Baalke.
Precisely.
None of them. The Ben Johnson, none of the rest of them. They all had a problem with Trent Baalke. And so you get to my question is, how did you not already know that?
Oh, they did. They knew that.
Well, then you're morons.
They've been ignoring it.
Then you're morons.
2 years.
Because you looked at this and went, nope, we're not going to fire him. He's coming back. I don't know that I've ever seen anything like this, and this is coming from a guy who is a fan of a team that went into an NFL draft planning on firing their GM the Monday after it. My team did that. This may be dumber than that.
Now, I understand where you're coming from in this, but is it not better to make the call late rather than never? Is it not better that they went, you know what, we're done with this? Like after the fifth candidate said, what about that Trent Baalke feller? Is he going to stick around? When that question got brought up again, maybe at that point they went, okay, we have to cut ties.
Well, it depends on why you did it.
Terrible, but you should have done this 3 years ago.
Well, it depends on why you did it.
Byron Leftwich told you to pound sand unless you fired Trent Baalke. That should have been your first red flag. At the time, it was taken as, oh, look at Byron Leftwich. Who the hell does he think he is? But nothing's happened in that time to make you go, oh, wait a minute. He was wrong. No, he was right. Trent Baalke's a disaster. You should have been making this plan for a while. We've been screaming for it for 2 years.
At least.
And so finally, Shad Khan, or whoever made the decision, decided we can't do this anymore. I do love that it was the mutual parting of the ways. We got together and we decided it's best for both of us just to move on. Well, yeah, it's best for him to move on before you fire him. Before he officially has that pink slip in his hand, it may be best for him to part ways.
Well, the question is what led Jacksonville to this? What did they think was going to come of this? Did they think that by firing Trent Baalke, now all of a sudden all the coaching candidates that they wanted are going to go, well, that was the only problem I had? Because if that's why you did it, then you're dumber than I thought you were. Because as Gambit fans said in the YouTube chat, no, it shows you're reactionary and unstable, which is exactly what I've heard today. Which is now Jacksonville has a whole new set of problems. Because now it's not just, hey, we got to find a coach. Hey, we got to find a GM. Now you're basically going to redo the entire operations of the Jaguars on the fly as we're preparing for two of the biggest events in preparation for the draft that we have. Oh, by the way, free agency starts in 6 weeks. You're not hiring a GM over the weekend. You couldn't get compliant with the rules over the weekend. So you're going to be trying to do this next week. None of the timing makes any sense. I didn't love that the Raiders did this with Tom Telesco a week late. I really hate this. And I just look at Jacksonville and go, this is so par for the course for you that it's pathetic.
That they have to have. See, and again, I understand. But are you saying they should have just played this out? You're stuck with Trent Baalke now. Let's just move on.
No.
Keep him around, let him pick the next class, let him screw up the number 5 draft pick, all of that.
No. Ideally, you would have done this, 6 weeks before the season ended.
Sure.
That would have been the choice 1.
Mm-hmm.
Choice 2 would have been to do it on the Monday after the season ended.
Mm-hmm.
We're on choice 6. And choice 6 is change the I to a U and you've got what it is. Because it sucks. This is not a good choice. Because now it just changes things. It changes things, and it changes things for pretty significant reasons. And I'm reading tea leaves here. This has not been specifically said to me. I feel like there is somebody out there that Shad Khan has become very fond of. And this is what happens when you make a reactionary move like this. They're going to interview whoever the candidate is. With Trent Baalke, this decision was down to Robert Saleh and down to Patrick Graham. It's not down to that anymore because now the decision makers have changed. Basically, you're starting from scratch unless the coach is more hiring the GM than the GM is hiring the coach. There's a reason we don't do that way. It's one thing to really believe that in a synergy and want to bring in guys together. Coaches don't have the kind of tie to an organization that GMs do. GMs bring in scouting departments. GMs bring in guys that are underneath them. It's basically the whole way the scouting operation works. Now, what I think is going to happen is they're about to go all in on Joe Brady and tell him, what do you want to show up here? What do you want to be the next head coach of the Jaguars? And that probably means somebody that he has been affiliated with in the past is getting ready to be his choice for GM, and you're giving a coach power that no first-time head coach should have.
Well, yesterday you were talking about Rob Saleh, that he was close to getting this job, possibly.
With Trent Baalke. With Baalke getting fired, that changes everything.
Oh, okay. So he was bringing in – so it was Trent that wanted Rob from the San Francisco days, I guess?
Well, they weren't in San Francisco together. Saleh was in Seattle when Baalke was in San Francisco.
Oh, okay.
I can't tell you that it was Baalke that wanted it. It was Baalke that was spearheading it. And now that could be because Baalke had heard things behind closed doors of, hey, they're really still talking about firing you. So if we can get this done pretty quick, I'm just dumbfounded you had a guy that was in all of these meetings. He met with the coaches. What do you think the guys that have met with Jacksonville, do you not feel like at this point they're looking around going, what did I just do?
Mm-hmm. What's Joe D doing now? Because that's where my mind went.
Joe Douglas is not getting a GM job in this cycle. I'll just shut you down on
Really?
that one. Yes, he's not getting a GM job in this cycle.
Why not?
He doesn't want one. Joe Douglas is either going to take the year off or he's going to work as a fourth in command for somebody and lather up next year. What I think is going to happen, he's going to take the whole year off, and he's really going to go – he'll be where – I'm just trying to think of a name off the top of my head – where Robert Saleh, the one we were just talking about, he doesn't have a job, so he could interview the last 4 weeks of the season next year and really take his time to decide. Joe's he's a different cat.
A little more, methodical?
Joe wants to go fishing with his kids. That jet thing took it out of him, and frankly, I don't disagree with you. I understand why it took it out of you.
All right. I see. I thought you'd be more happy about this.
I hate the time. The timing's stupid.
Well, the timing was dumb regardless.
Tank, there's a great chance
that you ended it. That's a good thing.
All right, so I'm gonna give you a little inside baseball here. It's one of my favorite things to do on the show. Is I'm gonna tell you things that you can't no matter how much money you have, you cannot buy the kind of access that I'm getting ready to give you. I know 2 scouts that work for the Jacksonville Jaguars. I met them. One of them I've known for a while. One of them I met at the Senior Bowl last year. There's a great chance that I'm going to run into these 2 guys at some point over the course of the next week.
Mm-hmm.
You know what the first words out of my mouth are going to be?
What's that?
Who's your boss? Like, who are you answering to right now? Great chance their answer is, your guess is as good as mine.
Yeah. But the goal is still the same, is it not? Build a winning football team.
I think you're stuck on you're stuck on that the ends justifies the means.
Yes.
It doesn't because of what you just signaled to the NFL. Am I saying it would have been better to just ride another year with Trent Baalke? No, because that box had already been checked. As soon as Shad Khan came out and said, well, for the right head coach, we would consider firing Trent Baalke, you had really already kind of signaled what we already knew. Mm-hmm. This is confirmation of it. That Shad Khan is very wishy-washy, and he kind of goes as the wind blows. A lot of coaches don't want to be tied to that. And if your first choice is Joe Brady, hey, guess what? He becomes untouchable Sunday at 10 o'clock if they win.
What do you mean he becomes untouchable?
You can't talk to him.
Oh.
Because you waited so long, now you will physically have to wait until after the season's completely over. Now you're talking about hiring a head coach in the middle of February. It's a clueless process.
Again, I'm kind of shocked because I was happy about this. And I feel like Jacksonville Jaguars fans should be happy about this. I mean, it was going to be a dumpster fire anyway. Is it not better to have the dumpster fire without the accelerant on it?
All right, let me ask you a question. At some point in everybody's life, they've had that argument with their spouse of, hey, what are we going to eat that spanned an entire day?
Right.
Do you ever get to the point where you just say, screw it, I'm not going to eat? Because I do. I've seen me do it. Like, I'm so tired of arguing about this. I don't even want food at this point. I'm just going to, I'm going to drink my dinner. That's where Jacksonville is. But now you're stopping at the sketchy, off the side of the interstate. Maybe there are hookers that work out of this place. Probably going to be a rat turd in your food. Mm-hmm. Is that better than just not eating? Because to me, just not eating was no doubt the better solution.
I don't see those things as equivalent.
Oh, they're 100% equivalent. There's no shot. All right, I'll boil this down and see if maybe you can take the journey with me. There's no shot that the Jacksonville Jaguars are getting a high-level GM prospect to take this job right now. No shot. Okay. I'll use the Jets search because I have a little inside baseball on that. Trey Brown of the Cincinnati Bengals is, in the last 24 hours, become the likely GM of the Jets. Mm-hmm. I don't know what happened with Lance Newmark. Nobody's answered that question for me. I don't know. I do know that Aaron Glenn and Trey Brown are friends and have been for a while. There is a possibility that Aaron Glenn said, hey, that's who I really want as GM. I sat in, we talked about what you talked about with Lance, and it just didn't work. Or there's a better chance that Aaron and Trey talked, and he liked the vision of Trey Brown better than he liked Lance Newmark. That's all well and good. The reason that I said all of these things is to tell you that there's no chance any of these guys would interview with the Jaguars. None of them. So there's a great chance that because you fired Trent Baalke right now, you're going to get that retread. Martin Mayhew was one of the first names that came to my mind.
Okay, that used to be in Washington.
Because that's the guy that will take it. And then you're tied to that guy for a handful of years. You could add one more year of awful of Trent Baalke, or now you could attach yourself to 3 years of the guy we could get. Mm-hmm. Or you're going to overpay. There's always that. Money does have a weird way of making people go, I can deal with it.
And that's where you have to go. I mean, I'm not saying that's where they're going to go, because that would be, I don't know, kind of smart.
Name me that candidate.
Name the candidate?
Mm-hmm. Who's the guy that you can just go, you know what? You're a good coach. You're a good GM. I know it, and my money's going to win out.
Joe Douglas. You don't need to go.
I never thought anybody could like Joe Douglas more than me. You do.
He's the best GM out there that doesn't have a job. I don't care what it costs.
That's not saying a lot, just to be clear.
Oh, really? The guy that you waxed poetic about for, 5 years, talking about how wonderful he did building the greatest Jets team of all time.
I love Joe.
That you tell me
I love Joe. What you just said, he's the best GM prospect that doesn't have a job.
Yeah.
His biggest competition would be Louis Riddick. So
that'd be another one.
And I love Louis.
I do not care what it takes.
It's just not real deep. There's no amount of money you're getting Joe Douglas. I tried to say that the first time, you didn't seem to listen to it. So I'm going to say it a different way.
There have been a whole bunch of articles that say Joe Douglas would listen to a job.
Any of them written by a guy that has his phone number, because you're talking to one.
I'm just saying.
So I'm going to go ahead and tell you, there's no amount of money. Unless you want to go Dr. Evil and give him $100 billion. It ain't happening. You're going to have to lather up and find something else.
I don't care who it is. Louis Riddick, Joe Douglas. I don't care if I got to call Brian Billick. I don't care. Whoever I think could best lead this team, I'm giving them whatever they want. Because at this point, that's the only thing I have.
Why don't you just go ahead and call Bill Cowher, too?
Yeah.
Yeah, call Bill or John Gruden. I mean, no, Gruden doesn't fall into that. Gruden would love for you to call him. Don't call John Gruden. He'll show up and not leave. He'll just be sitting outside the facility going, man, sure is hot down here in Jacksonville. Spider 2 Wide Banana would work great for Trevor Lawrence. All those other guys, I'll
just
save you
pop
the call.
I'll
It
just
ain't
pop a
happening.
MAGA hat on him. He'll fit right in Jacksonville.
The thing
Get him
about
some jorts, and he'll be solid.
Jacksonville was going to be a tough sell the week after the season ended.
Of course it was.
It's a borderline impossible sell now. And you just don't have the candidates out there. There's not the guy that needs the Jaguars. Joe Brady, if I don't take a job this cycle, shucksy doodles. I have to go back to Buffalo, which I love, and coach what will be the reigning MVP. Oh, shoot. Whatever will I do? There's not the candidate that needs you that desperately. Your timing's terrible. Oh, and by the way, this is a draft class that it really would help if you had your I's dotted and your T's crossed.
Well, that wasn't going to happen regardless. Trayvon Walker. We remember that.
Well, and look, Trayvon Walker 3 years later is starting to look like a real-life NFL football player.
You took him at 1.
I don't
It's not a
disagree.
good sign.
And you took him over Aiden Hutchinson. Yeah, none of those things are good. Those aren't going to stop being bad. But I would be more looking at, they've made several decisions that.
There's no doubt. There's no doubt. The timing sucks on this. However, to me, still better late than never. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like,
you're clear.
You have a full
Do you
tank of
have
gas
your
first before
super
road
chat
trip
button back?
desert.
Empty? Seriously? Maybe I can walk.
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote.
Yeah, I got to reload the profile here.
You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary.
That hard reset really,
Affiliates Northbrook, Illinois.
really does a number on my.
I had an effect.
More than your dentist might not be the first person that
So I didn't want to say this on terrestrial radio. This was not a little birdie thing told me. If Joe Douglas takes another job,
used to treat headaches that come from people grinding their
how do I
teeth
put this
or clenching
delicately?
their jaws when they are stressed. So if
it
you
would
have more
surprise
questions
me
about
less to
Botox
see
and you
me
want to
in
see
a
if it's a good
dress
option for you,
than it would to see Joe Douglas take a GM job.
Nice.
They hometown feel.
Watching
He was
Clorox
so
cleanup
burned out
spray
by the time the
dissolve
Jets
tough
fired
grime in
him.
the shower feels like
Wait.
He's in that process like after a really bad breakup.
Underwear.
I don't even
and
want to date.
everything?
I mean,
it feels like
if
being
I
able
meet a
to
cutie
zip
at a
up
bar,
your
then
overpacked suitcase
we
on the
can get up
first
to get
try.
down. But that next morning,
Smooth.
there's going to be cab fare
With
and a
Clorox,
note.
Clean.
And I'm going to be a
feels
Joe
good.
D-size hole in
Use
the
as
wall.
directed.
Hey, Mom, I've been meaning to talk to you about some new COVID information I saw online.
Uh-huh.
I read that black folks like us with certain conditions like diabetes, heart disease, mental health conditions, or being 50 and older, like you, are at high risk.
Boy, you sound like a commercial.
I'm just saying. I know you love your ginger teas and essential oils, but remember, there are treatment options for COVID-19.
I promise if I get sick again, I'll call my doctor to ask about my options.
Visit WeTalkWeRise.com to learn more. Brought to you by Pfizer.
Now Taxes is using Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get your refund, so you can do more with it right in Credit Karma. Now this is taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. See guaranteed details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. And did I mention that Clarissa Sells WNC loves teachers? We love teachers so much, we're giving back 25% of our commission at closing. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
This is J.W. Whitley, General Manager at Parks Ford of Hendersonville. Our purpose, to improve lives with every interaction. Nominate your Parks Community Hero today at parkscommunityheroes.com.
Oh, I forgot to tell you, I saw Jesse Danny yesterday. He said to tell you what's up.
Drive to the
I didn't even
hardest
know
hit
you knew
areas in those first hours.
Yeah.
Like Eric, who hosted the
Did you go to
football
school with
team
him?
to support their neighbors and begin the cleanup efforts.
No, he went to Oak.
Nominate your
No. I mean,
parkscommunityheroes.com.
I've met him several times.
parksfordhendersonville.com.
At Ingalls,
I love
whether
that
we're
guy.
celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to
He has
Sunny
one of the
Coast
great
Soccer,
sleeper
or taking
karaoke
you out to
voices
the ball
that
game
you
at
would
your
ever
minor league
want to hear.
park, it's all in the bag.
Nice.
Low prices, love the savings.
The Sportsocracy.
You were just dumber than a bag of hammers.
We are back in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, and Jacksonville's made the call. Trent Baalke, he's no longer the GM. It's going to be a tough sell anyway. Now you got a short clock to deal with. Good luck on you.
This is probably a great time for me to declare to the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'll save you a call. I'm not interested in your GM job either.
I believe that's what a lie sounds like.
Oh, no, I'm 100% out. I'm 100% good.
Whatever. If they called right now, you'd take that job.
Yeah, I wouldn't, though.
No, you would.
I wouldn't, though. Because I don't want to listen to all the mocking of Jacksonville hired an idiot radio guy with a mullet from Asheville, North Carolina.
That'd be the greatest thing ever.
I'm good. That does not feel good for my career trajectory.
Yeah. You know what else doesn't do well for a career trajectory? Tying yourself to the Jacksonville Jaguars.
That's what I was talking about. Right. I thought you were about to say binge drinking 5 days a week.
That's not just for you. That's for anybody. We got a super chat to get to.
Here comes the money.
There it is.
Money talk. Here comes the money.
It's from Red C, who said the Cons can't even properly run AEW, let alone the Jacksonville Jaguars. Have you ever watched one match of AEW?
I have watched.
Is it any? I've seen the roster, and I know it's literally like 17 guys that I grew up watching, which means they have to be old as hell now.
Yeah, I think they threw out Too Cold Scorpio last week, and Super Callow was out there. The Disco Inferno made his return.
I know Chris Jericho currently looks, and look, I've met Jericho, super fun guy. He currently looks like a PE teacher going through a horrible divorce that is ready to love again.
That is so accurate.
He has more nip sag than Tank Spencer. That's straight up as truthful as I could be.
Oh.
He could wear overalls again. You don't have to worry about it's not sneaking out the armhole. Might sneak out the zipper, but it's not going to sneak out the armhole.
No, it's terrible. It's awful. It's a rip off of WWE, which sucks. So, I mean, of course it's not good. Ugh. No, it's not. I mean, they're both failing businesses. Right, and the only reason the Jaguars aren't a quote-unquote failing business is because they're in the NFL, and the NFL
which is unfailable,
and it's still going. Right, exactly. The Jacksonville Jaguars are the definition of too big to fail. As long as they're tied to the NFL and Roger Goodell and the money machine and the ratings machine, it's going to continue to make money. But the Jacksonville Jaguars are the AEW version of an NFL team. Right? You take the Baltimore Ravens or the Buffalo Bills or whatever team you want to put up on that pedestal of they're the industry leader. Yeah, that's the difference. WWE to AEW, and one of those teams to the Jacksonville Jaguars is exactly the same because you're not serious. You're not a serious person. We can't take you seriously when you do things that don't make any sense.
You think he could get? Look, I know Jim Cornette's had a lot of bad things to say about the WWF lately. You think he could get him in as a vice president of player personnel? You think he'd bring the tennis racket still in the case? Jim Cornette always looked like if Ross Perot had a campaign manager, that's what he would look like.
Mm-hmm. Bob Brown in the YouTube comments says he wants Howie to bring Joe D back to Philly.
That's actually the most likely, is that if he does take a job, it would be as like a 2 or a 3 in Philadelphia or Baltimore. The Jets wore him out. I'm not going to tell you everything I know, but it ain't good.
We all get burnt out sometimes. Hey, and if you don't need the money, if you don't need that job, then take some time, right?
Joe D will love again. It's just not going to be anytime particularly soon.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville.
This is your
Clear
Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Yesterday's high was only 32. The normal high is in the upper 40s this time of year, and we're getting there. We'll be in the upper 30s. I mean, it's better than yesterday. Yesterday's high temperature well below average. Today, a little bit better, as I mentioned. Tonight, we'll settle back to the mid-teens. Tomorrow, sun mid-30s. Kicking off the weekend with sunshine Saturday, mid-40s. Sunday, partly sunny, upper 40s. From the Weather Channel, I'm Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. A great alternative to a mobile phone for your kids. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get 60% off. Free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off.
Order for Jennifer C.
Is this my double shot, double cream, double froth, double pump, double whip, double sleeve?
Yeah. Can you handle that much caffeine?
Did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Oh, really? That's great.
Seriously, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Yeah, you just said that.
Did you say I just said that?
Yeah, I'm cutting you off.
I can't have any more? Why not?
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
Watching Clorox cleanup spray dissolve tough grime in the shower feels like...
Wait, this really just happened? I'm shocked. Underwear and everything?
It feels like being able to zip up your overpacked suitcase on the first try.
Smooth.
With Clorox, clean feels satisfying. Clean feels good. Use as directed.
Accomplishing goals is hard. But when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. Babbel is designed with you in mind. From expert-created lessons to conversational video units and even live classes, you can personalize your Babbel experience to be exactly what you need to really learn a new language more easily. Go ahead, set a goal for yourself. Accomplish it with Babbel. Try Babbel for free. Go to babbel.com. That's babbel.com.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. Download our free app on Google Play or the App Store. Type in Asheville Home Search. You'll be able to connect with our team and see all the available homes for sale in our area. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
Welcome to the Ingalls Table, a delicious destination with recipes galore. The experts from the Ingalls Table take you through it step by step with expert tips and advice along the way. Just visit ingalls-markets.com. Ingalls, low prices, love the savings.
This is J.W. Whitley, General Manager at Parks Ford of Hendersonville. I would like to introduce you to some of our very own Parks community heroes, like Eric, who hosted the football team to support their neighbors and begin the cleanup efforts, like Jeff and Chris, who led a fleet of Ford commercial vehicles throughout the night, delivering supplies with emergency services to all corners of the county and first responders. Nominate your community hero at parkscommunityheroes.com. That's parkscommunityheroes.com. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
On the weird scale, there's Vegas, there's Florida, and there's Asheville. Let's get weird, Asheville.
We are back in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. And Jeremy, you remember, what was that? I think it was 2 years ago when Appalachian State hosted the College Game Day.
Yes.
Right? and we went through the whole Luke Combs is the guest picker, and they were doing the camera at the Morganton airport, like watching for the plane to land for Luke Combs. And do you remember me asking you, is he that big? Is he that guy?
Yes, he is that big, and he is that guy.
Now, obviously, a year later, now I know because I've seen it with my own eyes. I have seen the show myself. It is fantastic. He's awesome. I'm not a country music fan, so I didn't realize how big he was. And then, obviously, when I got to go to Nashville and go to the Country Music Hall of that's a T-shirt, by the way.
You froze at the worst time right there because we didn't hear it.
Of course I did. Probably ended up with some stupid look on my face on the screen, too. This appears to me to be another one of those maybe he really has made it moments. The story out of Norristown, Pennsylvania. Montgomery County District Attorney's Office has announced charges against 3 people for selling fake Jason Kelce signed memorabilia. These people had apparently 1,100 fake memorabilia items that had purportedly been signed by Travis Kelce. And were Travis Kelce, I would get. There's that big of a market for Jason Kelce now.
Oh, Jason's very popular.
Okay.
Jason's very popular with guys like me that are very tired of Travis.
I mean, I guess and they were selling it in Philadelphia, so Jason's got a big fan base there for some reason.
Hey, maybe they could sell it to the mayor. You know what? They could take the ones where they spelled Kelsey, K-E-L-S-E-Y, and sell it to the mayor. Seems like spelling doesn't matter to her a whole lot. I didn't know you were doing weird, so I pulled a sports story, but it fits into weird too because weird, I was right. Tank, did you happen to see the number for the national title game?
No, I did not.
Average viewers, 22.1 million.
Okay.
That's it. That sounds like a reputable number, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's a good number.
Do you know how many times in the history of the college football, any form of the playoff, all the way back to the BCS, do you know how many times we've had a national title game that had less viewers than this?
3.
It is 3. Care to take a stab at which ones they were?
No, I do not.
So you had the COVID year. And by the COVID year, everybody thought, oh, we'll just be happy to have football back. No, we were, I'm not going to say apathetic, but everything was down that year. Numbers were pitiful that year. The only other time we had Georgia TCU, which threw a 17.223.
Okay.
And there was another one, Alabama, Ohio State. That's a bad sign. You know why that's a bad sign?
Why?
Because the Rose Bowl outdrew it. The Rose Bowl between Oregon and Ohio State, which was a god-awful game, carried more viewers.
Mm-hmm.
I have heard a lot of excuses as to, but for why was the rating down? Well, we had 2 non-traditional. Oh, no, it's not that. Well, it was the inauguration of Don. It was over. What were you sitting around watching Fox News at the inaugural ball? Because I don't think you were.
Oh yeah, everybody had to tune in to watch the Village People.
I don't think there is an excuse. The one that I've heard a lot that it seems to be, it carries some water with me. Season's too long. Flat out, the season's too long. We've been doing this since August. And look, we've always said more football is better. There is a line where fans go, no, I'm good. I've watched bad game after bad game after bad game after bad game, and I'm good. I don't need to see it. I'm not an Ohio State fan. I don't really care about watching them. I'm not going to lie. I will be clipping this article out and posting it on a bunch of buck nuts that were on our social media going, hey, you remember where you called me an idiot? Yeah, I was right and you were wrong. Enjoy your national title.
That's what I was afraid of. I was afraid that this might be that might be a problem when you had the teams that you had. We talked before the game about these are two teams that if you don't care about them, you probably don't care about them. Right? If you're not a Notre Dame fan, you're more, to me, more likely to be sentimental toward Notre Dame if they're playing Ohio State. And then the fact that the game got out of hand, that also factors into it too, with how many eyeballs you keeping when the team that you hate is beating the brakes off the other one.
Now, historically, Notre Dame has rated reasonably well. They did have a Fiesta Bowl against Oklahoma State that did not do particularly well.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, Notre Dame has historically done well. Ohio State has historically done well. Mm-hmm. You got two. I told you this before the show. I could make the argument that's the two biggest fan bases in college football. You couldn't really have asked for better.
Yep.
I mean, can you imagine what would have happened if we got Boise State? Good Lord, you'd have been lucky to scrape together a 15. Season too long. Mm-hmm. I heard Dan Patrick talking about relegation, which I love that this comes up like every year or two. I'm almost to a point. I'm fine with it. You want to give me North Dakota State in the Big 12, and we have a game where it's Cincinnati and Baylor, and the loser gets relegated to the FCS? I'm in.
No, you're not.
Oh, I'm totally in. Oh, I watched all these games. I'm not really who you're trying to get.
You'd watch the first one of those.
Oh no, I'd watch it and laugh. I would. You know what? I'd do a live stream and I would troll the bejesus out of those fan bases. Hey, Cincinnati, I bet you're really looking forward to next year when you play Idaho State. Won't that be fun? Bet you miss Luke Fickell even worse now, don't you?
Yeah. I unintended consequences. Everything has unintended consequences. You thought by putting together a 12-team playoff, we're giving you more football. One of the things that ends up happening doing that, though, is that now you're so removed from the regular season that maybe there is a fatigue. We've been watching these games week in and week out. The games haven't been great. I mean, I would imagine a lot of people tuned out after the second round. A bunch of people didn't tune in the first week because they didn't care. Second week you tuned in and all of the top seeds lost. And the games weren't that good anyway, other than the end of the Texas-Arizona State game. Then you got a champion named 2 weeks after that. Maybe that is a thing. Diehard football fans, I feel like we'll watch regardless. But if you're looking to beat straight numbers, we've talked about moving it up in the year, right? You move the start of the season up to the 1st of August, and then you wrap up the season, or you wrap up the championship around New Year's. But I don't think we'll ever do that.
I can't tell you we'll never do that. I think the NCAA right now and before somebody says, well, it's actually the college football playoff that it put teams that's shut up. Okay, who's that appointed by? That's what I thought. It's all an NCAA thing. They're the one in charge of this, whether they have a committee or not. I don't really care. I feel like they're all looking around now going, you know what? We got a problem. We've had a problem. And this problem is not really going to stop unless we do something about it. Tank, I'm going to ask you a question. How many bowl games that were not in the playoff do you think averaged 3 million viewers? Not in the playoff. And 3 million is not that many.
No, it's not.
I mean, it would be a ton for Bomani Jones. That's probably more people than have ever watched him combined. One of these days, I'm going to meet him in person, and he's going to try to punch me in the face.
No doubt.
And I will get him a step stool so he can try.
3 million viewers. I'll just say 2.
It was 5.
Oh, more than I thought. Okay.
Kansas State Rutgers.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, and it gets worse. Oh, no, I lied. It's 6. Don't do that with lists where you color code them and the colorblind guy thinks that's part of the title. Stupid. You got to differentiate those. It's a green list, and they put dark green underneath dark green. I thought that was part of the header. Anyway, Kansas State Rutgers in the Cactus Bowl. Vanderbilt, Georgia Tech in the Birmingham Bowl.
3 million people watch that.
Yeah. Nebraska, Boston College, Arkansas, Texas Tech, Iowa State, Miami, BYU, Colorado. BYU, Colorado doubled almost every one of these games. You know what I didn't say in there?
What's that?
I didn't mention South Carolina there, did I?
No, you didn't.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. You know why? Because they didn't apply. I think you have a large problem with that. You have a ton of bowl games that are completely irrelevant.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because you have a bunch of games here that didn't hit 2 million, let alone 3.
Yeah, I might have watched like 18 seconds of football that wasn't in the playoff.
I didn't watch a second of any of it.
If you weren't playing in the playoff, I don't care. Never cared about them before. Why should I start caring about them now? There's no reason to.
Well, and that
because
gets into
you knew that because there was nothing that was going to be decided in those games. Right? Michigan fans got all excited when they beat Alabama. Okay. Good for you. It was a bad end of the season for Alabama, but nobody's giving you flowers for that.
I still believe you put the bowl games at the start of the year. Empty out the coffers.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you earned your spot in your bowl game. Awesome. Now these schools that are going to have 25 guys transfer, we don't have to try to figure out how we're going to patch together a roster. We're going to play that game the first week of August. We'll put it in a place that's not going to be swelteringly hot. And you fixed a lot of problems.
So we move all the bowls from, southern United States up to the northern United States.
Hey, maybe you tie in the Northeast. Get New York excited about the Pinstripe Bowl.
Oh, we'd have to work around the Yankee schedule for that, though.
Oh, who cares about the Yankees? Do we even still play baseball?
Is
that even still a thing?
If it came down between New York and college football, or the Yankees and college football, yeah.
Hell, we'll play it at Citi Field. If it's not the Mets, if it's past August, no one will notice anyway.
Yeah, they're not playing anyway.
But I mean, just think about it. Which would you have been more encouraged to watch? You get Arkansas, Texas Tech. You more likely to watch that in the middle of August or the last week in December?
No, it's August.
Exactly. You schedule these as a 13th game. That gives you another level to your non-conference schedule. You put it in, you move week 0 up 2 weeks. You allow teams that didn't make bowl games to schedule their own. And then you kill 7 birds with one stone. And then you can move up your playoffs so that it's not competing with the NFL, because we've shown you're not going to win that. Ever. Not one time ever.
I do think it goes on too long. And it's the fact I can't get away from the transfer portal thing. That's what's completely ruined the bowl games. Because I used to tune in for bowl games. If it was 2 solid teams and I knew dudes were going to be playing, I'd tune in. But now I have no faith that anybody's going to be playing in these games because it's not worth it. The ones that are going pro, they'll never play in it.
No.
And the ones that are looking for a better situation, it takes all of the intrigue out of I want wanted to say like a spicy matchup that you could get between a Power 5 school and maybe a really good Mountain West team or something. Chances are all those guys that are on that Mountain West team, they're probably trying to transfer into one of the Power 5 schools.
For sure.
If they're any good enough, if they're good enough, if that's what made this game interesting in the first place, that you had like this little upstart team that was really good throughout the season, had a lot of really good players that the big schools missed out on. When it comes time for the bowl game, they're not playing.
No.
They're sitting out to transfer.
I'm waiting for somebody to use the excuse that I've heard a lot. Well, television numbers are down universally. I mean, look at the NFL's divisional round games. They went down.
They did.
How much did they go down?
Oh, wasn't it like 8% or something like that? I think that's what I saw.
So one game went up.
Okay.
Texans-Chiefs went up 500,000 viewers. The Commanders' upset of the Lions was 4 million down.
Okay.
Roughly. That game also went until 11-something at night. They said, it's in the same time window. It is, but it was an hour earlier. Packers-Eagles was 3 million less. Looks like 3 million less. Or no, not Packers-Eagles. Who the Eagles just beat? My brain's fried. I've been staring at NFL draft things too long. Rams-Eagles.
The Rams.
Come on, Sports Illustrated. Get your article right. You got the wrong team in here. Rams and Eagles was down 2.5 million. And then Chiefs-Bills was the one last year. Ravens-Bills got 43 million people. I think you're fine. I don't think the NFL's worried about, we dropped down a little bit. Yeah, we're still double what college football did, and college football's the only thing that can contend with us.
Mm-hmm. And that's the other side of that. Okay, so college football playoff, would you say it was the third lowest rated in history? But it still kicks the crap out of everything but the NFL.
And that's fine.
So how can I be too upset by this?
Oh, and what you just said is 100% fine. The only problem is that, and I think I heard Clay Travis say this, there's two issues with that. One, you have now put a cap really on, with a number like this, basically what you're saying is we can't go above 30 million. Mm-hmm. If everything works out perfectly, we've got a number one in the draft quarterback versus number two in the draft quarterback playing for historically relevant schools. We'll get about 30 million.
Yes.
So you put that ceiling on yourself. Now there's the second layer of that, which is you probably sold this as your ceiling being your floor, and I would wager you have a lot of advertisers that are not particularly happy. I know what some of those commercials cost, and it's a lot.
And you'll have to reflect that down the line if that is the case. Have we had a lot of national championships in, I'll call it the modern era of TV viewership that have gone over 30 million viewers?
No, the thought was with the playoffs that with the extended playoff, it's going to crank everything up and all these fans are going to watch. And what they didn't realize is that college football is still regional. There are portions of this country that do not care. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't matter how much of a buildup you lead. Also, and I really need to get this across, sell your first round games to Netflix. Do yourself a favor. That's the call.
Why?
Because TNT ain't it. ESPN does a great job. TNT, not so much. And I'm looking at the difference in those numbers. It is substantial. And I get it. They spend a lot of money. They also, nope, I'm not going to throw that barb about the NBA. You can assume what I was getting ready to say. Their viewership's killing it.
Mm-hmm. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400.
This is the story of the one.
And we're clear.
Specialist for a historic high-rise knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention, which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million-plus products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them, the right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Playoffs? We're talking about playoffs? You bet we are. Kevin Hart here for DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL playoffs. Scoring touchdowns is key to winning in the playoffs, and you can score big by betting on them at DraftKings, the #1 place to bet touchdowns. Ready to place your first bet? Try betting on something simple like a player to score 6. Go to DraftKings Sportsbook app and make your pick. New DraftKings customers can bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly.
Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code WPEK. That's code WPEK for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5.
Only on DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio.
If you or a loved one have been a victim of crime, the North Carolina Department of Public Safety Office of Victim Compensation Services provides programs to help you find peace of mind. We are here to help you apply for benefits that you may qualify for to recover from hardships such as lost wages and medical expenses. To learn more, visit ncdps.gov/4victims. That's ncdps.gov/4 VICTIMS.
Mountain Graphics and Showtime Sports have teamed up under a new local owner to serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Mountain Graphics and Showtime Sports can customize whatever you, your team, or your local group may need with high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving. Visit mtngraphicsavl.com or showtimesportsavl.com. That's mtngraphicsavl.com or showtimesportsavl.com.
The Cowboys are seriously considering hiring Brian
If you're
Schottenheimer.
looking to buy,
Please.
you need to
I don't
call the
ask for
agents
much.
at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. And did I mention that Clarissa Sells WNC loves teachers? We love teachers so much, we're giving back 25% of our commission at closing. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343
I still got like 3 minutes here, right?
or Clarissa Sells.
Yeah. Okay.
At
I just gotta
gmail.com.
go fill up my. It's time for my one energy drink of the day.
Time savings of contact-free
I decided that drinking 4 Monsters a day is probably not a great call.
Facts.
For the
And your Ingles personal
40s.
shopper gets to work with specialized training on how to select the freshest items for a pre-scheduled pickup. They'll even text you with updates. You pull up to a designated space and your personal shopper delivers your items right to your vehicle. Fresh, fast, and affordable. It's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Yesterday's high was only 32. The normal high is in the upper 40s this time of year, and we're getting there. We'll be in the upper 30s. I mean, it's better than yesterday. Yesterday's high temperature well below average. Today, a little bit better, as I mentioned. Tonight, we'll settle back to the mid-teens. Tomorrow, sun mid-30s. Kicking off the weekend with sunshine Saturday, mid-40s. Sunday, partly sunny, upper 40s. From the Weather Channel, I'm Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Rapid Radios.
Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription ever. A great alternative to a mobile phone for your kids. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and you'll get 60% off. Free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off.
It's just not normal, the pain caused from chronic joint pain day after day. But some of you have dealt with that pain for so long, it becomes your new normal. Short-term fixes are not working. Get moving again in 2025 with help from QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in regenerative medicine joint preservation. Yes, you can revitalize your joints with advanced orthobiologic treatments at QC Kinetics. No drugs, no surgery. This is the future of medicine using an array of natural solutions like PRP to attack the pain from arthritis. Tens of thousands of people with pain have discovered these cellular treatments and are living life again without that constant pain in their joints. Want to learn more about how you can refresh your joints to get lasting relief with these amazing treatments? Call QC Kinetics QC Kinetics in Asheville and Greenville. Call 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517.
FEMA funding is available to support repairs on private roads and bridges, even if your primary home is not damaged. For more information or to schedule an inspection, call 1-800-621-FEMA. Again, call 1-800-621-3362.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, cash. That's cash. Enter it now.
You got to get in to win. Go to ESPNAVL.com and good luck.
Live from the Ingalls studio.
I can't wait to play with myself every day.
The Sportsocracy.
Damn the devil to hell! Let the big dog eat! Let him on the field!
Come get you some of this.
Fire them cannons! By golly, put more powder in those things.
He couldn't take any more disappointment.
Oh my God, the Jets killed him.
And it is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. The Sportsocracy is heard everywhere you go on the iHeart Radio app. We're seen everywhere on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, subscribe to the chat, join us, or subscribe to the channel. That way you can join us in the chat. There we go. Got my words all in line here.
You can also subscribe to our new NFLDraft.net YouTube channel. And the Patreon, if you are a big old nerd, next week is going to be fun because I will be in Mobile and I'm staying in it's like a rustic inn. I can't really put my finger on exactly. It may look like I'm staying in Little House on the Prairie. I can't quite tell.
So you got like a log cabin?
No. It's an inn. It's right where I wanted to stay. Mm-hmm. It was a little cheaper than I expected, which scares me. Mm-hmm. There are several things
check
in
the
life.
Neighborhood. Is it near the airport?
Well, I don't care if it's near the airport. That never bothered me. Oh, there's planes landing. Yeah, if I'm sleeping hard enough, I don't care. And this is a boozy week, so, I mean, it's not like I'm laying there just counting sheep after I had my orange juice before I went to bed.
Yeah. All right, well, best of luck to you in your rustic Mobile Inn experience.
It's going to be fun.
It's going to be awesome.
Oh, it's going to be fun.
Yeah, it's a fun town. Fun town to be in, especially around the Mardi Gras.
I just had to get away from the parades. Last year, it was like 6 o'clock rolled around, and holy crap, we're doing it again. How many parades do you people have?
Well, they got to do one for every crew, right? It's all the different crews sponsor their own Mardi Gras parades. I'm just there for the free Little Debbies. Because they throw them out by the box full.
Yeah, they do. I've actually still got some, was it moon pie?
Moon pies.
I've still got miniature moon pies that are in a
Yes.
shadow box from my experience last year. What's sad? I will die before those do.
Yeah, you think the hole that we ended up with during the hurricane when the Little Debbie delivery driver came up here and brought us like a pallet. That's kind of what you come away with when you go to one of those Mardi Gras parades down in Mobile, Alabama.
But yes, the Patreon will be cranking up aggressively on Monday. I'm plugging away on finishing the website. I'm almost done with the offense, and my goal is to have the defense up this weekend.
All right, very good. Welcome again into the program here. So let's talk a little bit about the Senior Bowl here.
Hold on, before we do that, we've got a super chat. I didn't know where you were headed with that. So
okay, my bad. All right, super chat time.
Comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Sir Jimothy asked us, where is the Super Bowl watch party this year, and do we need help?
Well,
Tank, you're probably a better person to answer this because you're going for 5 days. I'm going for 14. So
it's going to be a while. That's I don't know. That's a good question. We hadn't really discussed it. I know we're going to be in New Orleans for the early part of the week. We'll not be staying for the game.
If we win tickets,
decided that.
If we win the lottery, and when I say lottery, I mean the media lottery for tickets.
Right.
The chances of that are very minuscule. So I'll say we're headed out of town Friday night. That's going to be what I'm voting for because I will not have seen my house for a long time.
Stephen Tao says no Super Bowl this year. Baltimore Ravens fan. Jilted.
I believe there is one. I just really hope it's not the one I'm afraid of.
You got a 50-50 shot.
Exactly a 50-50 shot.
Yeah. The one matchup nobody wants to see.
Actually, that's not true. Odds being what they are, there is a 75% chance we do not get the game that I am most wanting it to not be. There is a 75% chance that we're going to have at least one team that I really don't want to see there.
Mm-hmm. I think everybody wants to see Buffalo Bills and the Washington Commanders. I just don't know that that's what you're going to get. Jaden Daniels is special. Is he that special? Is he the only rookie that could take his team to the Super Bowl?
The others have met very unenviable demise in the conference championship game.
Right. I mean, it's what I was talking about last week. You know, I didn't expect them to win that game against Detroit. A lot of people didn't. They were a pretty sizable underdog. Wasn't it like an 8.5 point spread in that game?
Yes.
It was a shock to see them win that game, but every rookie that has ever lived has met the moment. Has met the moment where they were stopped in their tracks. Well, I think there's only like 3 or 4 that have actually made it this far.
5. He's 6.
5. Okay. He's the 6th that has made it to a conference championship game as a rookie.
They are 0-5 in this game, and most of them have gotten their brains bashed out.
Precisely. Saying that's what I think is going to happen, saying that's history would tell us that could be what happens. Just prepare yourself. So that, to me, you got a little greater of a chance of seeing at least one of those teams that you don't want to see in the Super Bowl.
Ben Whitley had a real good point in the YouTube chat. He asked who's officiating the Chiefs-Bills game. The answer is Clete Blakeman, and now there is depends on how you want to see this. No crew in the NFL threw more flags in 2024 than Clete Blakeman's.
Ugh.
That's the bad news.
Yeah.
Now the good news. Do you know the Chiefs' record in games that Clete Blakeman has officiated over the last 4 years?
What is it?
6-5.
Really?
Bar none, the worst of any official in the league.
Clete Blakeman, we're going to need you to be on Jawan watch.
Listen, Clete. A, your name is a Hugh. B, I need you to get this right.
Anything but the Kansas City Chiefs.
I've always wondered, how did his parents get to Cleat? We have to name our son. What are we going to name him? Sneaker, boot, Cleat. How about Cleat? And we're going to spell it wrong.
And we're going to spell it differently. His Cleat is short. His Christian name.
Cletus Nathaniel Blakeman.
It is Cletus. His name is Cletus W. Blakeman. It doesn't tell me what his middle name is. It just says Cletus W. Blakeman.
Washing machine. Cletus Washing Machine Blakeman.
I don't know how you got the washing machine, but okay. Could be William. Wally. No, just
nope.
Washing machine.
Cletus Washing Machine Blakeman.
You'll remind. Well, never mind. You're not having any more kids, so we don't have to worry about that.
Let me 100%. If I accidentally have another kid, which we have taken many inroads to make sure that doesn't happen. But if we do, name not in the top 10 of my problems.
Yeah, I was going to say, remind me to remind your wife that if that happens, but that's not going to happen, so it doesn't. It's a moot point.
I tried to name 3 daughters Josephine Namath Green, so
thank God.
Shut down at every inroad.
That would have been not good. Not good. I mean, I know your dad would have been happy with that name. He was probably spurring it on. No.
Curtisina Martin Green.
He's just trying to figure out how can I name girls after football players.
Lavernia Coles Green. Nope.
Lavernia. Nope. I feel like we should just move on to some profiles.
100%. I've been waiting for you to do it for 4 minutes.
Net. NFLDraft.net. You check out all of Flostradamus's opinings about the upcoming NFL draft class. We will be at the 2025 NFL draft in Green Bay, Wisconsin, coming up in the spring. You said we've talked about quarterbacks.
Yeah, I've done quarterbacks to death.
Let's talk running backs. You have, obviously, Ashton Gianti.
I don't have him as clearly ahead of the rest of the class as everybody else does.
Mm-hmm.
You know me. I don't love short running backs.
Right. After he put up the big numbers at Boise State this year, he has risen to the top of everybody's ranking list. So you say he's not far and away, or as far and away at number one as everybody else has him. Who's your close-ish or closer to?
Marion Hampton. Ashton Gianti is my number 10 overall player in this class. Marion Hampton's 25.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's close. But those are the two that I don't look at and go, yeah, there's a big but with you that makes me think that it's going to be you and somebody else. Those two can be legitimate bell cow, Josh Jacobs, Saquon Barkley, Derrick Henry type running backs.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else, there's a big but with you. And look, I love a Marion Hampton. I've said comfortably I'd take him in the first round. If I was one of these really good teams, Minnesota's the one I keep coming back to of you're telling me that I could add that weapon to Sam Darnold, Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, TJ Hawkinson?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I got that straight down the field running game. I got a guy who can catch passes out of the backfield. Oh, I've got a young Aaron Jones. Sweet.
Who's markedly bigger.
I can definitely get down with that. As a Tar Heel fan, watched quite a bit of Omarion Hampton, and I think he's going to be just fine in the league. Does he have that elite speed?
Top end speed's always been the biggest knock on him. Is that I don't think he's going to run. I would say he runs in the low 4.5s. If he's lucky, it's in the high 4.4s. Low 4.5s, he probably falls into the second round.
Mm-hmm. All right, Omarion Hampton at 2. And then is there a major drop-off to 3?
It's a drop-off, but it's not huge because I like this next kid so much. It's Caleb Johnson from Iowa. If you want a Derrick Henry light, he fits into that. Because if you need 3 yards, he will go get you 3 yards and a foot. He's just a bowling ball. And look, if you look at the guys in the NFL that have been really valuable over the course of this year, I mean, NFL Network's playing it right now. Saquon Barkley is one of the 5 finalists for NFL MVP. He has it all, where he can run through guys, he can run around guys, he's got the moves, anything you could possibly want. You don't get many of those. There are only a handful of those guys that I've ever seen. Caleb Johnson does the I can run you over really, really well. The problem is that I don't know that he could catch a cold if you soaked him in water and put him in a freezer. I want to say I did his eval earlier. I think he has like 30-something catches in his career.
Yes.
It's hard to play as many snaps as he did. Now, look, it's Iowa. They don't throw it a lot. But it's hard to be on a field that much and not accidentally catch 75 passes.
Right. Well, I mean, so last year he had 22 catches of his 29 catches in college. So last year he showed more ability with the hands. Once the offense changed, I guess, they started throwing the ball a little bit more.
Well, that helped that Brian Ferentz wasn't there. He's allergic to passing the ball.
Mm-hmm.
If he does it more than like 12 times in a game, it gives him hives.
22 catches for 188 yards. 2 touchdowns receiving as well this past season. So I don't know. Maybe that's just something that he hasn't been able to put on tape because of the system he's in.
I've seen that stat. Well, you can also watch him and go, man, you look super uncomfortable doing this. It's kind of like me in a pair of high heels.
Yeah.
Not saying I've never done it. Not saying I can't do it. Just saying I probably shouldn't. It's not a good look, and I'm really not comfortable in it.
Yep. All right, and then at number 4.
Cam Scattaboo. The biggest knock on him is size. I don't know that he can hold up running the way he runs because somebody didn't tell him at some point, you're not a real big fella. You should probably stop trying to run through walls. That's a bad idea.
Mm-hmm.
If there is a third player in this class that can ultimately be a 3-down guy, I think it's Scattaboo. And then you get into the drawbacks of him, which is he played at Sacramento State all but his final year.
Mm-hmm.
But then he went to Arizona State and was some kind of special. Not known for the greatest defenses.
No,
I feel like GMs are really going to lean on that Texas tape where he just got better as the game went on.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was finally able to pop one. That's the one that I more lean on.
Yeah, I was going to say any running back, though, that is able to put up, math is fun, over 2,300 total yards on a season. I mean, that kid's going to turn some heads regardless.
He's a good pass catcher. He had, almost 800 yards receiving?
He had 605.
Okay. That was a little high.
605 yards on 45 catches this past season, 3 touchdowns receiving. Plus, he did throw a touchdown pass.
Yes. He holds up in all of those things.
So he can do all of the things. The only problem is he's a little short, you say. He's 5'11".
No. His problem's not
5'11".
Yeah, his problem's not short. His problem is that he's built really narrowly. You see him in person and you go, that kid skipped leg day or something. Which he didn't. He's just, some people have thin frames.
Are you trying to say he's built different?
Yes, but not in the built different way.
Not in a good way.
Yeah, he's built in the I wish you were built differently. I used to get burned by running backs like that sideways. I call that the Kerryon Johnson rule. There is a specific body type that I see it and go, oh, man, I don't want to see you carry it 20 times a game. Because you'll break.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. We'll keep talking running back prospects when we come back.
Did you apply for FEMA help?
Clear.
Storm Helene and want to know the status of your application or how to appeal an eligibility decision? It's easy to reach FEMA. Call 800-621-FEMA. Does FEMA have your current contact information? If you are not sure, call 800-621-3362 because FEMA may need more information to help you. For in-person help, you can find the Disaster Recovery Center near you at fema.gov/DRC.
Watching Clorox cleanup spray dissolve tough grime in the shower feels like...
Wait,
This really just happened? I'm shocked. Underwear and everything?
It feels like being able to zip up your overpacked suitcase on the first try.
Smooth.
With Clorox, clean feels satisfying. Clean feels good. Use as directed.
We're starting 2025 with insanely clean carpets from Zero Res. Call to get 3 rooms of carpet clean for only $119. And when you mention ESPN Asheville, you'll get a hallway clean for free. Schedule online at ZeroResAsheville.com.
Hey you, I knew I'd find you back in the same aisle. What are you looking for today? More fiber, more laxatives, more of the same ways to manage your constipation? Look, if your constipation with belly pain keeps coming back, you may have irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C. Ask your doctor how Linzess can help you get ahead of it.
Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part? They accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right, so we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. Our mission, to improve lives with every interaction. This is JW, General Manager at Parks Ford Hendersonville. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com. That's parksfordhendersonville.com.
It's time to discover the convenience and time savings of contact-free pickup with Ingles Curbside. Just visit shop.ingles-markets.com or download the app. And your Ingles personal shopper gets to work with specialized training on how to select the freshest items for a pre-scheduled pickup. They'll even text you with updates. You pull up to a designated space and your personal shopper delivers your items right to your vehicle. Fresh, fast, and affordable. It's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
The Sportsocracy.
You are a regular nuclear meltdown. You better cool off.
We're back in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. NFLDraft.net. Make that your new source for all Draftmas things. It is the Draftmas season. And Drafty Claus is sitting in his toy shop, just going through all of the things, all of the toys that your team could end up with this Draftmas season.
Amy came through here yesterday. I was watching tape up on the big screen, and I don't remember now which school it was because I can't remember who the player was. And she looked at the screen and said, "Are you watching the Zapruder film right now?" She's like, "I don't know who shot that, but did they shoot that with like a razor? What in the world was that shot on?"
A razor.
Like, I don't know. You'd be shocked how many of these tapes look exactly like that.
Those were the days.
I've been doing cut-ups like, good Lord, do you not know what even 720 is? This is shot like $1.44 at best. That's when you always know it's a prospect you have to really want to deep dive on when you're watching film that looks like it was shot on a handy cam. Which I'm pretty sure is what Robert Kraft calls his camcorder.
You need to just stop spending your time watching film from Ouachita Baptist. All right? You need to up the game a little bit. Start watching some Conference USA football.
Hey, your team is notorious for giving me all 22 that looks like it was shot through a washcloth. So
who?
Georgia. Oh
really?
My God! Some of your all 22. I don't know who your video guy is, but Bruh. Do gooder. What's real fun is when it's a cut up and you go, oh, yeah, I'm watching the guy that's not on screen right now. That's good. That's awesome.
It's always fun. It's always fun. He does all of the legwork so that you don't have to. And if your team needs a running back in the 2025 NFL draft, you might have to spend a first-round pick on a couple of the running backs. Ashton Gianti, and Jeremy's already said if it were him, he'd spend a first-round pick on Omari and Hampton. I don't think you're going to have to. To get him in the actual draft.
Depends.
It depends on how the workout season goes.
Well, it also depends on what happens this week, because of the guys I haven't said, 4 of the next 8 are either in the Senior Bowl or the Shrine Bowl. You have a good week here. I mean, Kamani Vidal went from a guy that nobody was talking about to drafted.
Mm-hmm.
In this event last year. I watched it.
Yep. And he may end up getting his shot in Los Angeles at some point. Ashton Gianti was 1. Omarion Hampton 2. Caleb Johnson 3. And then your 4 was Cam Scattaboo.
Cam Scattaboo.
All right, so where's Dylan Sampson?
Sampson falls a little bit lower for me. He's my 8.
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. All right, so who comes in at 5?
Travion Henderson. He's got the body build. He's got all of the necessary tools. What's funny is that I think both Ohio State guys playing together will have pushed each other down, because I don't think either one of them is going above any of the 4 running backs I just said. And there are actually a couple other guys in between, well, not in between them, but right around them that may end up higher than them the more you dig in. I like Travion a lot. I don't fully understand why he's not going to a bowl game of some kind. I feel like if anybody needed to, you were very high on my list. But doesn't appear that he is.
Is he? I mean, can he just live on name, though?
Tired. I'm very tired. I played 16 games this year.
Right. I just played 16 weeks. Do I need to go do any of these things?
He would for me. If he wanted to break into that top 4, he would for me.
Mm-hmm. My question is, do I have more to lose than I have to gain? Right. If he comes out at the combine and runs poorly, would that be worse than him not doing anything at all?
Well, he's going to run at the combine. Every guy I'm talking about here is going to run at the combine.
I didn't mean the combine. I meant the workouts and stuff.
Well, I mean, you're not going to run slow in the workouts. His could very easily be, look, I played 16 games, and that's a decent excuse. The only problem is that Ollie Gordon's the running back right behind you. He will be here in Mobile, and I think there's a great possibility that he has a very good week.
Why did you say it like that?
Because everybody seems to have forgotten about him, and you do realize he was one of the Heisman front runners coming into this year, right?
Yes.
And then everybody forgot about him. Yeah, because Oklahoma State was awful. That's not his fault. I still have him at 6, and there's a great chance he'll end up 5 or maybe even higher for me, because I'm still in love with him. I still think he's that 1,700-yard back I saw 2 years ago.
No.
It's just Oklahoma State is B-A-double-D bad.
All right, number 7 after him is
Quinshon Judkins. And then Dylan Sampson. Those two go right beside each other. I have all 3 of those last 3 guys going somewhere between. They're like fringe 3rd, 4th round guys. Then we get into my favorites, and they're all at bowl games of some kind.
Okay.
Rocket Sanders. Yeah, that shouldn't surprise you at all, because I think I said his name to you 207 times in 48 hours in Columbia.
Yes. And he is a guy that has a tendency to jump off the page at you.
He's got injury issues. The medical will be really big on him, but clear sailing on that. He could have a tremendous week next week at the Shrine Bowl.
Mm-hmm. And then
the last 2 are Devin Neal from Kansas and Brashard Smith from SMU. Devin Neal's more of a thumper, squatty. I think he was kind of hidden because he played at Kansas. Brashard Smith was hidden because, well, it's not really what he does in the running game that intrigues you. It's the fact that out in space, he is real fast. And he's got home run hitter ability. He's a very NFL running back. I can't get away from the idea that the Kansas City Chiefs end up drafting him.
Yeah.
And they pair him with Isaiah Pacheco because those two do what the other one doesn't do.
What is the prognostication from you for Kal-El Mullings? Old Superman from Michigan.
He's
the reformed
He's a
linebacker.
big kid. He's a big kid.
It's 6'2".
And he weighs like 230 pounds, too.
30 pounds, I think.
Yeah, he's a BDD for a running back. That's
233.
It's not that I don't like him. He's just really raw. And my history with Michigan running backs has been, I'm good. They tend to recruit running backs that are really good for college, and they will run them into the ground. And then they go to the NFL, and there's just nothing there.
Yeah.
Son Haskins, you're a dude. There's nothing. I just don't think there's anything special to him.
Yeah.
I mean, there are some guys that I think.
It's just a super intriguing story to me as a guy who went to college as a linebacker, transformed into a running back, ended up, being the best running back on his team as a senior, and now he's going to the NFL with, 1 year of high-level competition at running back. He probably played running back some in college or in high school, but this is 1 year. How high can I take you in the draft? Is he 7th round? Am I crazy for even using a 7th round pick on him?
No, he'll get drafted. The question is just where. I would say his range falls into – he gets into range for me in about the 5th.
Okay.
If a team falls in love with him and thinks, oh, he's more developed than we think and there's raw talent there, those guys tend to go a little high for me, and the success rate's about 10%. Mm-hmm. Now, if you want to hear a story, you should follow all of our things at NFLDraft.net because I have a reel coming out later today about one Josh Connerly Jr. from Oregon. And I'll tell you a little snippet that's the high note. Josh Connerly Jr. was an all-state running back in high school. Do you know who he is?
No.
He's the left tackle at Oregon.
Nice.
He's 6'4", 317 pounds, and was a running back.
Wow.
He also has a possibility that he's going to run at the combine and throw up a number that you go, that can't possibly be true.
I don't know how much more surprised we can be.
Oh, there are stories. That's one of the things that I'm so excited about being able to do this year is really dig more into that. And instead of just saying, hey, I like this guy, this is why I like this guy. Mm-hmm. And Connerly's a good example. I did this one this morning, which is why it came up. And you said running back that used to be a linebacker, and I flipped it in my head.
Yeah.
The thing about stories like this is it really explains who a guy is. Because you watch Connerly on tape and you go, man, that kid's really light on his feet. He's not as strong as I want him to be. Oh, because he's only played tackle for 3 years. So the workouts were a little different. He's still getting acclimated to playing this position. And I could understand why a team – I don't have him as a first-round pick. I have him as an early second. But I understand why a team falls in love with that and goes, hey, I could turn that into my own version of Jordan Mailata.
All right, you're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. Do indeed go check out NFLDraft.net and follow the YouTube channel. You got the YouTube channel up and running?
The YouTube channel will really start next week at the Senior Bowl, kind of like the Patreon. I'm trying to do as many free view things as I can, just of, hey, this is what this is going to look like. And then the behind-the-scenes stuff will really start next week.
Yeah. NFLDraft.net. You can follow him on the Twitter machine at ESPN Draft Nerd. When we return, it'll be time for the most important message of the day, and we'll talk some tight ends as well. Jeremy says this is the tight end whisperer says this is a really good class. We'll get some details on that next.
This is your
Clear
weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Yesterday's high was only 32. The normal high is in the upper 40s this time of year, and we're getting there. We'll be in the upper 30s. I mean, it's better than yesterday. Yesterday's high temperature well below average. Today, a little bit better, as I mentioned. Tonight, we'll settle back to the mid-teens. Tomorrow, sun mid-30s. Kicking off the weekend with sunshine Saturday, mid-40s. Sunday, partly sunny, upper 40s. From the Weather Channel, I'm Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Bojangles. It's bow time. It's bow time. Bojangles' new chicken rice bowl is bold from the bottom up with a base of dirty rice, Cajun pintos, grilled chicken or supremes, and a sprinkle of cheese. Like it hot? Add a dash of Texas Pete. Head to Bojangles and try the new chicken rice bowl for a limited time. It's bow time.
The recent wildfires that ravaged Los Angeles now account for one of the largest disasters in the history of our country. Now, iHeartRadio is bringing you an historic fundraising event.
The Fire Aid Benefit Concert.
Live in Los Angeles.
Donate today at fireaidla.org.
Join us January 30th.
Listen live to the Hit Nation station on the free iHeartRadio app, starting at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 Eastern.
And show your support for the people in need in Los Angeles.
Hey, Mom, I've been meaning to talk to you about some new COVID information I saw online. I read that black folks like us with certain conditions like diabetes, heart disease, mental health conditions, or being 50 and older, like you, are at high risk.
Boy, you sound like a commercial.
I'm just saying. I know you love your ginger teas and essential oils, but remember, there are treatment options for COVID-19.
I promise if I get sick again, I'll call my doctor to ask about my options.
Visit WeTalkWeRise.com to learn more. Brought to you by Pfizer.
Taxes was not knowing your full financial picture. Now Taxes is getting and maximizing your refund all in one place. Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get you the most money back, guaranteed. Then you can do more with all that money, all in Credit Karma. Now this is Taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. Get started today. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
Welcome to the Ingalls Table, a delicious destination with recipes galore. The experts from the Ingalls Table take you through it step by step with expert tips and advice along the way. Just visit ingalls-markets.com. Ingalls, low prices, love the savings.
This is J.W. Whitley, General Manager at Parks Ford of Hendersonville. Our purpose, to improve lives with every interaction. Nominate your Parks Community Hero today at parkscommunityheroes.com. Like Daniel, a veteran who accompanied law enforcement and other veterans to perform search and rescue operations. Like Spencer, who helped build a bridge out of debris to rescue 7 families after the road was washed away. Nominate your Parks Community Hero today at parkscommunityheroes.com. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. Download our free app on Google Play or the App Store. Type in Asheville Home Search. You'll be able to connect with our team and see all the available homes for sale in our area. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
Back in the Sportsocracy, this is ESPN Asheville, and it's time for the most important message of the day.
Don't do crimes!
Jeremy, you've been on a cruise before.
I have.
Yeah, we've talked about this before. Jeremy likes to do pineapple stuff on cruises.
I really like to mess with people on cruises and just upside down pineapple sticker everywhere. Put it on your door when you're not expecting it. Get a weird knock on the door at 2:00 in the morning.
It's weird. They apparently do a lot of upside down things on cruises down under in Australia. Because this story is about P&O Cruise Lines. So there was a voyage that was out right around Christmas, and the staff of the kitchen, it looks like, decided that they wanted to, do something funny, do something kind of festive to mark the holiday. So they all decided they wanted to dress up in costumes and parade around the deck. Like they're out on the Lido deck, and everybody's just kind of hanging by the pool, and then all of a sudden, a group of 8 guys dressed as upside-down snow cones paraded around the pool. Now, picture in your mind what a snow cone looks like.
I know where this is headed.
Flipped it upside down. Right? It usually comes in what type of a vessel? A little paper cup, right? That little triangle paper cup thing. You flip that upside down. Jeremy, these guys were dressed head to toe in white uniforms with white hoods on their heads.
Uh-oh. Maybe I didn't see where this was headed.
And they went parading around just, Merry Christmas, everybody. And everybody's like got their phones out and they're taking videos of these guys like, what is happening right now? There's a KKK march in the middle of this Australian cruise. Yeah, the official word from P&O Cruise Lines, the staff had no idea, quote unquote, no idea who the KKK was, what they looked like, what kind of, sheets they wore. And they thought this was just an innocent fun. When asked, well, why snow cones for Christmas? And the response from them was, well, I mean, we're out at sea. And we don't carry costumes with us, so we just decided to use some linens to dress up like snowmen. I have no words.
That didn't quite go your way.
Yeah, it really did not. The cruise line says no one should expect that they should have known, but I feel like everybody should know. I mean, I get that the United States is not the world, and the world is bigger than the United States, but I would think that would be a big enough icon, right? Not in a good way, obviously.
I would think you should.
I would think that would be a worldwide.
You should know gooder than that.
Yeah. It did not say where the guys were from. I don't know if they're from Australia, but again, I would think that would be common knowledge across the world, but there again, maybe not.
As you were telling this joke, I thought it was, as you were telling this story, I thought it was going to turn into a phallic joke, and so you caught me very off guard when you said I wasn't taking the journey with you. My story comes from Hamilton, Ohio. And I think this is proof positive of why TikTok should be allowed to stay. And whether that means that Larry Ellison has to buy it or Elon Musk, I don't really care. It needs to stay around. And this kind of shows an example of why. Jana Michelle, she's a TikToker. She has 1.6 million TikTok views. Well, over the weekend, she went to a local Burger King in Hamilton, Ohio, and she got her daughter some chicken fries. And when she opened the bag, she discovered something that starts with M that came as a shock. Now, if you had told me this story before I read it, I would have said moisture, because that's what I would be shocked by if I found it in a chicken fry. But what she found was marijuana's. She got the bag, she handed it to her kid, and her kid went, there's something in the bag that doesn't look like a toy. So she handed it back to her, and she found a cellophane baggie of marijuana in the bag. Mm-hmm. And so she took to TikTok. She also called the manager of the local Burger King, and their local news station called the franchisee to say, what up? They had no comment other than to say, immediately upon learning of this incident, we can confirm that the employee in question has been terminated. We were very disappointed to learn of the incident and do not take incidents that put our guests in danger lightly. In danger? Like, were you really in danger? You were in danger of enjoying those chicken fries at a much elevated level. I don't think you're in danger necessarily. I just don't understand. Did I miss a class one day that every little amateur drug dealer decided I'm going to go work the fry daddy at the Burger King to peddle narcotics through the window? Because I think this is the 10th story like this I've seen in the last handful of months.
It's a very common thing.
Dog,
unfortunately.
y'all can't even get my order right. You think you're going to peddle drugs out of this drive-thru efficiently?
I just think, man, what a world to live in, right? You go in for your chicken fries, and then all of a sudden, hey, drafty clause came.
I was about to say, Tank would have gotten this order. He would have thrown the chicken fries in the trash.
I suppose this will be something that no one will ever hear of.
Looks like I got a Whopper and a Wooer.
Dang right.
Got a Whopper and a Wooer.
You said that zesty sauce was the best thing to come with onion rings. I beg to differ, my friend. I beg to differ.
I would just be angry at how it made my food smell. Like, look, this wasn't the greatest smell in the history of time anyway.
Yeah.
It smells like cholesterol and shame, but it's my cholesterol and it's my shame, and now it smells like Pine Sol.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You did this wrong.
Yeah, yeah. If that ever happens to you at a local establishment, you should immediately pick up the phone and call 225-4988. I know people, and I will have that taken care of for you, okay?
Did you just give the show line? I thought you were giving out your cell phone number at first, and I was like, that is a bold strategy.
Just, for research purposes, right?
Look, if they start handing out Fireball at the firehouse, you call me. All that other wooer crap, I'm good.
Ben Whitley. He says Tank would go back through the drive-thru again and ask for another one of those Whoppers. Wink, wink.
Yeah.
Can I get another one of those orders? Same thing I got last time.
Just do it again, bro.
Just do it again.
You ever eat a Whopper? You ever eat a Whopper on weed, man?
Let's see. This tight end class is quite the Whopper, I hear. The 2025 NFL Draft coming up in April. All of the Draftmas season events are underway. The launching of NFLDraft.net, run by our very own Flostradamus, your new one-stop shop for rankings and film breakdowns and all of those things. You can find more information on that on all of our social medias at the Sportsocracy.
And while you're doing that, don't check out the comments of the video that we had that went viral this morning. You talk about a sewer you don't want to wade through. Whew.
Really?
Oh, my. Oh, yeah. But when people start talking politics, oh, my Lord, you just lose. Geez. You lose all form of how you speak to other fellow individuals, don't you? I dare you to say that to my face, sir. You will walk away with one less eyeball and an exposed eye socket, I declare. I also love people that get into political discussions and talk about how stupid somebody else is, and in one 14-word sentence, you misspelled 3 words and forgot a punctuation. Okay, just maybe you're not a rocket surgeon either. Just a thought.
The tight end class this year, very good.
Oh, it's fantastic. We have two 9+ grades. Tyler Warren from Penn State's a 9.2. Colston Loveland's a 9.1. That's in my life. It wouldn't take all the fingers on one hand to tell you the number of 9s I've ever had at tight end. Mm-hmm. Now, Kyle Pitts was one of them. There is a rumor circulating that he's played his last down in Atlanta and that Cincinnati might be his next location. And I keep going, I like that so much. Do that. Trade him now.
Let's hope. Let's hope somebody can get something out of him.
Tyler Warren and Loveland, those are just two borderline can't miss. Tyler Warren's hyper athletic. In the write-up, I said, think Kyle Pitts with an ability to block. He's not quite as fast, like straight line fast, but he's just always open. He threw passes for Penn State. I think there are 12 passes this year. Mm-hmm. He's a freak of nature. Colston Loveland's more Pat Freiermuth if Pat Freiermuth was gooder at football than he is.
Good or how? Like better catcher of the football, better blocker?
He has really
all
soft
things?
hands. He's not a great blocker, but he reminds me a lot of Pat Freiermuth. I think he's a little bit bigger, and I think he's a little bit better of a prospect. And I don't see how the Denver Broncos don't wind up with one of those two, and the Indianapolis Colts wind up with the other one. So if you don't pull for one of those two teams, you're probably scatterbooed out of luck on the first two. But wait, there's more.
That. Yeah, plenty of depth behind that.
Harold Fannin Jr. is the 3. I've seen people that have him as the 1, and that's a little much for me. He does have some Trey McBride in him. That's the best comp that I found yet on him, because he's not a very good blocker, but he's super talented. And I will see him next week at the Senior Bowl. I'm going to try to get a minute with him to put an interview up on our Patreon real quick with media availability, because he's one of the prospects I want to see the most. So I'm super excited to see Harold Fannin. I think he fits probably somewhere in the big top 10 to 15 picks of the second round. Then we get into that thing that voodoo that I do, which is
just to clarify, because I don't think you said it. Harold Fannin, for anybody who doesn't know, he played football at Bowling Green. So if you don't know that name, I don't blame you.
Apologies. I thought I said that. Maybe I said it in my head.
I don't believe you did. And if you did, I'm just reiterating. That's why you don't know that name.
Timothy O'Toole asked, what's my grade on Harold Fannin? He's an 8.6. So he's a locked-in second-round pick for me. And if you don't know my grades, basically the way they work is 9 to 10 is franchise, no doubt, first-round pick guy. 8-5 and up is you're in that second round. Could sneak into the first. Team falls in love with you. And then basically we go by the half numbers. So every time you drop down a full number from a half, basically is a round.
So like if the Kansas City Chiefs had to replace Travis Kelce, they might consider a Harold Fannin?
I don't think they would take a tight end that high, but yeah, I could see a team late that. I struggle to believe you're going to get 3 in the first round, but maybe you do.
Yeah.
Then we have the 3 Jeremy Green specials of, man, y'all are a little bit rawer than I want, or maybe you're in the wrong place, but I'm big boy a fan. Mitchell Evans at Notre Dame is my 4.
Okay.
He's the throwback tight end that the tight end whisperer just loves. And I kept watching him at Notre Dame going, they run so much that people aren't going to realize how good you are. They also don't realize that Notre Dame has been insanely good at putting tight ends in the NFL. And it wasn't just a Brian Kelly thing. I think this kid's a legit day one starter too. I have a second round grade on Mitchell Evans.
Okay. If there was a knock on him, what would it be?
He's just not athletic enough. I mean, look, if you're looking for the guy who's going to run a 4.4 at tight end, it is not him. He'll run slow. I feel pretty sure of it. Probably 4.7-ish.
Mm-hmm.
But he's just a big kid he's the definition of a safety blanket, and he's a good enough blocker.
I'm looking at one site that projects him to run a 4.76. So closer to a 4.8.
That's probably about right. When you say physical freak, Mitchell Evans' name does not go in that sentence.
Okay.
Then you get to 2 where it very much does, and both of their daddies played for the Miami Dolphins. Mason Taylor from LSU and Aronde Gaston II from Syracuse.
Okay.
Mason Taylor is really, really raw, but he can do a little bit of everything. So if you're looking for a project in the third round, and he'll be at the Senior Bowl as well, I think the tape is probably not going to scream at you, but the potential will. And Aronde Gaston II, let me just draw you a word picture. Darren Waller.
Whoa.
And that's who I think he will be. He's also going to run freakishly fast. If he breaks a 4.4, it won't shock me.
Wow.
If he breaks 4.4, it won't shock me. If he doesn't break 4.5, it will stun me.
Mm-hmm. All right, lots of time to get into more of the prospects in the 2025 NFL draft because, well, I mean, draftmas season, it's what we do here in the
for sure.
Sportsocracy. And it's what Flostradamus does as well. Check all of the hard work he's putting in on out at NFLDraft.net. We'll be back with you tomorrow right here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400, and everywhere on the iHeart Radio app.
This is a story of the one. As a
clear
for university housing,
10-4.
College students can major in wear and tear.
Back
Plus,
to the draft
housing
pile.
so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Playoffs? We're talking about playoffs? You bet we are. Kevin Hart here for DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL playoffs. Scoring touchdowns is key to winning in the playoffs, and you can score big by betting on them at DraftKings, the #1 place to bet touchdowns. Ready to place your first bet? Try betting on something simple like the player to score 6. Go to DraftKings Sportsbook app and make your pick. New DraftKings customers can bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly.
Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code WPEK. That's code WPEK for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5.
Only on DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. And did I mention that Clarissa Sells WNC loves teachers? We love teachers so much, we're giving back 25% of our commission at closing. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
In the aftermath of Hurricane Helene, we found out a lot of things about our community. We saw neighbors helping neighbors, and we learned in desperate times one of the best things to have around is a redneck with a chainsaw.
Not just a chainsaw, boy, just country boys in general. When you live in these mountains, you figure it out. Like, you make stuff happen.
After answering the calls for help that they heard on the radio, the Chainsaw Brothers are still here, making it happen the right way. Fair, insured, and local. Need tree help? Call the Chainsaw Brothers. 316-1013. 316-1013.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Yesterday's high was only 32. The normal high is in the upper 40s this time of year, and we're getting there. We'll be in the upper 30s. I mean, it's better than yesterday. Yesterday's high temperature well below average. Today, a little bit better, as I mentioned. Tonight, we'll settle back to the mid-teens. Tomorrow, sun mid-30s. Kicking off the weekend with sunshine Saturday, mid-40s. Sunday, partly sunny, upper 40s. From the Weather Channel, I'm Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. Shop limited-time deals during Lowe's Pro Savings Days. Get a free adjustable stand when you buy a DeWalt 12-inch miter saw. That's a $229 value. Valid 1/13 through 1/24, while supplies last.
If you or a loved one have been a victim of crime, the North Carolina Department of Public Safety Office of Victim Compensation Services provides programs to help you find peace of mind. We're here to help you apply for benefits that you may qualify for to recover from hardships such as lost wages and medical expenses. To learn more, visit ncdps.gov/4victims. That's ncdps.gov/4VICTIMS.
Watching Clorox cleanup spray dissolve tough grime in the shower feels like...
Wait, this really just happened? I'm shocked. Underwear and everything?
It feels like being able to zip up your overpacked suitcase on the first try.
Smooth.
With Clorox, clean feels satisfying. Clean feels good. Use as directed.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.